What is up, guys? Kabir here from awesometuts.com. So we are continuing with our series for 2D game design in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create 2D game background and how to prepare them for your game. So let's get started. I'm in Illustrator, as you can see, so I'm going to go ahead and fast create a new document. So you can create it here on this button over here, create new, or go up here on File and click on New. So in this video, we are going to change the name and the size of our document. So first, I'm going to change the name into 2D background. Okay. What is going to be 1920 by 1080? Okay. And if you have a problem with points and inches, you can go here and click on this tab and just simply check the pixels and click create to create our document. So after we create the new document, I'm going to go and open my sketch for our 2D background. So I'm going to go and simply drag and drop these two images into Illustrator. Okay, I have a tree sketch and the background sketch. So I sketched this for, I think, 5 minutes. So it helps a lot. It helps a lot to sketch things. So you can sketch it in Photoshop or, I don't know, in other programs. You can go and use paper and pen and sketch something. Just be creative. So that was a quick advice for you. So let's get back on work. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and select this sketch background and scale it up. So I'm gonna go and scale it up like this and this. Okay. We have that lines and we can follow that lines as a guidelines. Okay. I'm gonna go and put that tree side, and now I'm gonna start working with sky. But before we start working on our sky, I'm gonna go and select this layer and go here in opacity and put opacity down on 40%. I think it's gonna be okay. And go here in layers. If you don't have this option over here, go here in window and select the layer, or click F7 as a shortcut. Okay. And just select this layer and click the lock. And after that, I'm going to go and create a new layer over here. And now we can create our sky. So go here in toolbar and select rectangle tool. And just drag diagonally. Okay. And now I'm going to drop the color palette, which I created for this tutorial. And I'm going to give you this color palette in project files, don't worry. So it's going to be in description below. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this rectangle here and select here the gradient. Go here and select this white circle and use this color picker and pick this yellow color from palette and select this black circle and pick this blue color. Okay. And now we can add here a little bit of white, I think, or bluish color. Something like this. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and select this gradient ramp, or it's already selected, and just simply with your mouse drag from bottom to top like this. Okay, that's it. We created our sky. Now what we're going to do, we're going to create the clouds on that sky. So I'm going to select this layer and put opacity down a little bit to see that sketch which is behind this rectangle, and use the pen tool and select here color and pick white color. So I'm gonna go here in layers and let's see what is happening there. So I see here we have the color palette in layer for our sky. So I don't want it there. I'm gonna go and create a new layer and just simply drag it in that layer and call it color palette. Okay. And this layer, we can call it sky. Okay. So in this layer, we are going to make our clouds. Actually, I'm going to change a tool into ellipse tool and select a white color. And I'm just going to follow these lines with these circles to make clouds. Alright, that's the shape of our cloud, but it's not over yet. So I'm gonna go here and select the rectangle tool and slide over here like this. Now I'm gonna select these shapes which were created and deselect the sky behind and go in toolbar and select the shape builder tool or Shift M. And look at what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just with Alt key click and delete this all shapes which are included in this rectangle. Voila, and we created our cloud. And now right click on your mouse and create a group. Also what we can do with this circles, we can create the one shape of this all circles. So that option is here in Pathfinder. So if you don't have this option here, go in Window and select Pathfinder. And go back and click on Unite. Okay, and we have one shape. And the next thing, what are we gonna do? We're gonna create a shadow for this cloud. So with Alt key, duplicate this layer or shape and go here in Fill and make it a blue color. Okay, something like this. Select this white shape and right click and arrange and bring it to front. Okay. And again, select these two layers. And we're going to use again shape builder tool. And with Alt key, we're going to delete this area over here. And now we have our cloud created. And now what we can do here, so we can simply go here and select these two layers and make a group. And with Alt key, we can just make more clouds like this. And with right click, we can go in transform, reflect, and reflect it to left. Click OK. We can change opacity to make this cloud to be further. And we are created our clouds. And bring opacity up to see what is happening there. And we have our clouds and sky created in our layer. So the next thing which I'm going to create are mountains. So I'm going to go here in layers and create a new layer. And we can also lock this sky layer. And let's start working with mountains. So I'm going to use a pen tool and use the eyedropper tool and select the color from this sky. And with pen tool, I'm going to start from here and creating mountains. Okay, we can create something like this. We can create a smaller mountain. Okay, create one big here. Okay, we are created our first mountains. Also, what we can do with these mountains, we can create the depth of field effect. So go here with the selection tool on these mountains and duplicate them. Okay, scale them down. All right, put it down a little bit. Here. And this mountains, click right click and arrange and click bring to front. So the mountains which are behind should be a little brighter. So I'm gonna go here and fill and just simply go in bright here and put a little bit up brightness. Okay, and go here in opacity and put opacity a little bit down. Something like this on 80%. Okay, so before we end the process of creating these mountains, I want to show you one thing which you need to correct. So that is the edges of these mountains. So we need actually to merge this side to this side, and how to do that? Just simply duplicate these mountains and put it here. And I'm going to zoom in to see better. And you see what I mean by that. So the next thing is simple. So just with this direction selection tool, go here on this dot and just bring it up. Okay, and that's it. That's all philosophy. Okay, the next thing which we are going to create is a foreground. So I'm going to go here and create a new layer and call it foreground. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a dirt with a rectangle tool. Something like this. And change color in brown. So I'm gonna go here in a color UI and use this one. And we can also add stones as a detail on this dirt. So let's go and create that stones. I'm gonna use ellipse tool. And I'm gonna change the color into darker one. I'm gonna create a circle like this and use direction selection tool to change shape a little bit. Okay. We can also duplicate this and create a different shape. Okay, we can scale it down a little bit. Scale this down too. Okay, so I'm gonna create the three shapes of the stone and make a texture for this dirt. And now I'm gonna create some highlights and shadows. So I'm gonna duplicate this here and just scale it up a little bit and go in arrange and sand backward. Okay, and go here and fill and make a lighter color or brighter color. Okay, do it here again. Again, same process. Right click, arrange, sand to backward, fill, and brighter color. Okay, we can also select here this one with eyedropper tool. eyedropper tool and select this color. Okay, and also what we can do here, we can also create a shadow. We can put it here. Select all these shapes, and with the shape builder tool, just remove this upper shapes. And just select this middle shapes over here and go into fill and just select a little darker color. And that's it, we are created our stones. And I'm gonna select all these 3 stones and deselect the dirt or ground and also these mountains here and make a group of the stones. I'm gonna go and duplicate all of these stones all over the ground, and I'm gonna speed up this process a little bit. So I'm gonna select all of these stone groups and make one group. Okay, and I'm gonna select all these group stones with this dirt, and with that dirt make a group. Okay, so now we can start working on grass. So I'm gonna use the rectangle tool again and make the first shape for that grass. Okay, make some corrections here. And I'm gonna use a gradient tool to make a color for this grass. So select the first circle here, or first color, and I'm gonna select this green color, which is the first in this palette, and use the second color, and the second color is gonna be this one. Okay, deselect the eyedropper tool, and with the G key, or here on this gradient tool, we can increase this gradient tool and make some changes on that shape. Okay, now we can create the details for this grass. So I'm going to use the pen tool and just start from here to creating some stacks or something like that. Okay. You can just go and play with the scales. Okay, so I'm gonna go and close these lines from where I started. Okay, also we can create some corrections here on this closed lines, so we can move it up a little bit here. Okay, move this a little bit up. Right. Okay, I see here we can fix this also. Like this. And put this down a little bit. Move this curve here. Okay. So now I'm gonna duplicate this grass tags to fill up this all ground over here. Okay, something like this. Duplicate it here. And move it up again. We can also scale them down. Okay, like this. Move it again. Here. Move it like this here in center. Okay, and we are finished this process. So I have a quick tip here for you. So when you create these things, such as foreground, mountains, these clouds, so you need to think about how I'm gonna fit these things in my game engine to make the sort of parallax effect. So I'm gonna show you here. This is advantage when you design things. So I'm gonna go here and select this foreground, and with Alt key duplicate these things to show you what I mean by that when I said to fit your things. So as you can see here, we have these two foregrounds fitted in fine because it has this negative space over here. I'm going to show you that quickly. What I mean by the negative space or the empty space. So this is that negative space, as you can see. So when you want to create the things which are going to fit in your game or make that parallax effect, you need to think about this here. We have that on right side, and also we have that on our left side here, as you can see. So you need to pay attention on these things, because when you put this in your game, it will not have any glitches on your foreground and it will be fitted perfectly. So now I'm going to continue to work on this grass. I'm going to go and add the shadow for this grass. So again, I'm going to use a rectangle tool, and I'm going to change from this green gradient to black and white ingredient. So I'm gonna go and drag over this here, something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna select this and go in opacity and put a multiply. And with the shortcut key, I'm gonna send this in backwards with control and square bracket. And we can also change something like this here. Okay, we can put this black a little bit down, like this. Okay, and also what I forgot to do, to unite this grass stacks and this rectangle here. So I'm gonna go here in Pathfinder and unite. And also go here in the gradient and put this back. Okay. Like this. Okay, and we have one more step to do here on this grass to make shadow on this grass. So I'm gonna duplicate it like this. Change the color into this one and send it to backward like this. We can put a little bit darker over here, something like this. Okay, and we are finished with our grass. So the last thing which I'm gonna do is this tree. So let's start working on this tree. Okay, I'm gonna go now in the layers and deselect this locker here, and I'm gonna create a new layer here and put it on top of these layers. And I'm gonna call it tree. Okay, and from this layer, I'm gonna find here layer and just drag in this tree. Okay, turn this off here and again lock this layer. And also I'm gonna lock this foreground. And I'm gonna put this tree over here. And I'm gonna use a pen tool to start creating this tree. So I'm gonna a little bit zoom in and start working on this tree. So I'm gonna use this eyedropper tool here to use this brown color. But I'm gonna change it when I create this tree and just go and follow these lines like this. Okay, right, and we are created our first shape for our tree. The next thing, okay, again with the pen tool, create these shapes which are connected to our tree. And also here. And with the Alt key, I'm gonna use this anchor point and put it back in this origin. Okay, and with the Shift key, I'm gonna click here and close these lines like this. Okay. Now I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to see which colors we're gonna use for this tree. So I'm gonna use these two colors over here. And I'm gonna use it with a gradient. So I'm gonna select the gradient. And on the first color, I'm gonna pick this one. And the second color is gonna be this one. Alright. And also I'm gonna select these two branches. And select this gradient. And with the G key, we can also move this gradient like this. Okay. We can also make some corrections over here. I don't like this shape. So I'm gonna make a little bit thicker over here. And also make this here and something like this. Alright, this will be okay. So I'm gonna select these three shapes and click the gradient and use the one gradient for this. Alright, and now I'm gonna use the ellipse tool to create this three tops. I'm gonna zoom out and use a gradient again. Or here, color picker or eyedropper. And I'm gonna use this color here, or this one down here. And this one here. Alright, zoom in. Okay, duplicate it, scale it down. Duplicate it, scale it up. And we can also duplicate this one here and scale it down a little bit. Okay. We can duplicate it here. Duplicate again. I can scale it up. Duplicate, scale down. Alright, we can put this shapes to be in front of this shape down there. Right, like this. We can also duplicate it here on the right side. Okay, duplicate it, scale it down. Okay, so now I'm gonna select these all shapes and go here in Pathfinder and click Unite. And I'm gonna repeat this process for all the shapes. Okay, deselect this one and go again in Unite, and also with these 3 ellipses here, and Unite. And now I'm gonna use this gradient here. Okay. And make something like this here. Or we can use this gradient for each treetop, like this. Okay, put it like this here. A little scaled up. Okay. And make for this one. Like this. Put up a little bit. And also for this one. Also, we can add some details on this tree. So I'm going to start with this tree, and I'm going to use a pen tool and go here in the color, make a brighter one. Something like this. And make some shapes over here. Okay, close the lines and use the shape builder tool and just remove this outside shapes. Alright. We can also change the blending mode here, opacity, screen, or overlay. I think screen is better. Put opacity down a little bit here. Okay, and we're finished, so I'm gonna go here in layer and turn off this sketch to see how this tree looks like on our background. Okay, and also I'm gonna select all these things and go in group and put it here somewhere and go in layers and put this tree layer in the middle of the foreground and the mountains, so it can be behind, something like this. Okay, we can also rotate them. Okay, scale them down like this. We can also change the shapes over here. Scale this down to make a little bit different tree. Okay, I'm gonna send this to back and also use the same colors like here, and also select this here and just put it here like this. Okay, go back and we have our trees on our backgrounds. So the next step is how to export this assets for your game. But before we start exporting this, I'm gonna go here in layers and create a new layer here and type here tree 2. Alright, and I'm gonna select this tree here and just drag it up on tree 2 layer. Okay, deselect this lockers over here, and also I'm gonna delete this sketch from behind and delete this color palette. Alright, so now we have a clean illustration of our game for exporting. But before exporting, one more step, I'm sorry. So we need to see if we have some things to correct over here. So I see here we have this background up, and I'm gonna scale this to a little bit down to these lines. All right, also this one down. Okay, select this layer, go and scale it up a little bit. All right, we have separated 1, separated 2. Mountains are okay. All right, and now it's time for exporting your assets. So I'm gonna go here in Asset Exporter. So this is a cool option from Illustrator. And if you don't have this option over here, go here in Window and find Asset Exporter. So it's here. So I'm gonna select all these assets over here. And in this asset export window, I'm going to click on this icon over here, which said generate multiple assets from the selection. All right. And we have all our assets imported in this asset exporter. I'm going to go and quickly change the names of these assets. Okay. And after we change the name for these assets, I'm going to go here in this launch export screen dialog and select the location where I want to export this asset. So that is going to be in my game assets. So I'm going to select that folder, change the format in PNG, and click here on all assets and just click here on export assets. All right, and here it is. There are all assets which are created in this tutorial, and you can use them in your game. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something in this tutorial. If you learned something, please click on that like button, share this video, leave a comment below, and smash that subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.